It's time to get all set for Sunday, a podcast for busy and distracted Catholics with your hosts, Scott Williams and Jeff Traylor.
When I hear the coffee brewing, I think, what the heck we doing? Because I got barely any sleep last night. As the diaper bag I pack with Hot Wheels dollies and some snacks, I say a prayer there'll be a seat in the crime room this time. It's alright, cause I'm all set for Sunday. It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for Sunday.
Welcome to All Set for Sunday, a podcast for busy and distracted Catholics to be a little more prepared for Sunday Mass. My name is Scott Williams. My co-host is Jeff Traylor. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Scott.
You look tan.
Thanks. I am.
Cool.
Suntan, S-O-N, tan. Am I right? Beat you
Wow,
too.
you guys are funny. That was really good.
Oh, Father Meyer has joined us. Hey, Father Meyer, how are you?
Oh, it is a joy to be with both of you.
Scott, do you think we have a more loyal listener to our podcast than Father Meyer?
I do not.
I'm sure we have a lot of people who loyally listen, but I don't actually notice when the podcast gets posted, but I usually have a pretty good idea because we have an email very soon after that is Father's commentary, and I love it. I love his feedback. It's always fun, but it's great. I do appreciate that, Father, that you're not just a participant, but also a listener.
I'm an active listener, active participation.
Good.
Full conscious, active guest of the podcast.
Do you watch the YouTubes?
I've never once seen it on YouTube. So if anybody's watching
but
on
not
YouTube,
full.
I've never seen it.
It's okay.
So not full. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Are you still running a 5K every day, or is that done?
That is such a great question. I have 2 days left.
Your birthday.
Oh, wow.
Your birthday's in 2 days?
My birthday is on Thursday. So
amazing.
I began the 5K challenge on my birthday, so I will not run a 5K on September 4th. I will be stopping on the 3rd. So
great.
It's been really crazy. Really crazy.
And you've done every day. You've ran a 5K.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Outside.
Yeah. So
outside.
363 of them so far.
It's been crazy.
How many of the 363 have just been miserable?
A lot. Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's but I would say they started off miserable. I can't say that many of them ended miserable.
Good.
But
you're looking forward to on your birthday not
running a 5K.
Yeah.
Yeah, and taking off multiple weeks of not running at all.
Yeah, I'm sure like you're no spring chicken. I mean, you're not like an old, but like I'm sure I'm sure your body could use a little bit of a rest too.
Wow. Yes, I think that it does. Yeah. I'm actually going to have some blood work done 2 weeks after because my doctor and I want to look at some aspects of my health
to
see
if
whether or not running was like a good choice.
He's like, man, have you done nothing for 2 weeks?
No. Anyways, yeah, like I have my white blood cell counts are low, and he thinks that it might be actually just in response to me, like my body every day being beaten down.
Interesting.
And, so they're gonna run a little test on me and see.
He was like, "You got to stop running." And you're like, "You got to."
And I'm like, I can't stop running until September 4th.
So. All right.
Okay.
Well, ready for the 2-minute drill?
I am.
Great.
Are you ready, Father?
I'm strapped in and ready to go.
That's good. It is. Wouldn't it be really funny if he was like seatbelted into his just chair there?
That would be funny.
It is the 23rd Sunday in Ordinary Time. I'm going to write a note here because I have a funny seatbelted into a chair story.
Okay. Seatbelt story.
23rd Sunday in Ordinary Time, Michael Jordan Sunday.
Oh yeah.
I feel like we do that joke every year, but
at least
it's important to remember. The GOAT. I'll argue it with anyone. Our first reading comes from Wisdom. So Wisdom chapter 9. So the author is saying, look, we humans can barely figure out things here on earth, like how to plan our day. So like, how on earth are we going to understand God's plan without the Spirit? Like without his Spirit being a part of us, being present in us, helping us have that idea. It's this great reminder that wisdom it's not do it yourself, right? Like we're not supposed to do this all on our own and figure it all out on our own. It's a gift from God who's going to reveal that bigger picture to us. And that one I was excited about. That reading hits especially good for me. I feel like recently I've been doing a whole lot of trying to figure things out on my own. It's always just one of those great reminders when I'm just like, oh, what a dope. Yeah. What if you just waited and just prayed about it a little bit? Anyway, our response are a psalm. In every age, O Lord, you have been our refuge. Meh. Borderline mumbler. I mean, when you go into 3 parts there.
That's true. There's 2 commas.
Yeah.
1 period.
And then Father's got thoughts, but he's holding on to. Oh, he's singing it.
Well, I was singing the one that I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
I think makes it worse because, like, in that one, they double the "You have been our refuge." The one that I'm thinking of. In every age, O Lord, you have been our refuge. You have been our refuge. Like that. Like it wasn't long enough. We had to make it longer. So.
Yeah.
It's to help remember the words. So if you say it 7 times. The second reading then comes from Philemon. So Paul.
Yeah, man.
Philemon. Paul pulls up. Anyway, sorry. Paul plays his I'm in prison card. I'm just old and in prison. But uses it to make a heartfelt request. He says, take back names, man.
Yeah, it's a one with many names.
Onesimus, your runaway slave, not as property, but as a brother in Christ. Like, take him back in. It's a short letter, but packs a punch and just helps focus on like his idea of like, hey, listen, I've run my race. I've done my thing. Paul is in prison. He's aging, and he's just like, just be good,
yeah.
Love one another, and how that Christian love can reshape our relationships, even the messy ones, that we should forgive and bring them back.
And if you're a lector this week doing the second reading, maybe read it ahead of time.
Yeah, go ahead and look over that one. Our gospel then is Luke chapter 14, 25 to 33. Great crowds were traveling with Jesus, and he turned and addressed them. If anyone comes to me without hating his father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not carry his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Which of you, wishing to construct a tower, does not first sit down and calculate the cost to see if there is enough for completion? Otherwise, after laying the foundation and finding himself unable to finish the work, the onlookers should laugh at him and say, this one began to build but didn't have the resources to finish. Everyone knows that old heckle. Sorry. Or what king marching into battle would not sit down and decide whether with 10,000 troops he can successfully oppose the other king advancing upon him with 20,000 troops? But if not, while he is still far away, he will send a delegation to ask for peace terms. In the same way, any one of you who does not renounce all his possessions cannot be my disciple.
All right. Good job, Jeff.
Thanks.
Jeff, get anything wrong, Father?
No, I thought I did a really good job. I normally would say Onesimus, but tomato, potato, patata, basement cellar.
Amazing. What'd you say about a basement cellar?
A basement or cellar.
Like tomato.
Got it.
Basement. That's funny.
But they're actually different words.
I think that this gospel reading is confusing, so I'm excited to hear if you're preaching on it. Preaching this weekend?
I am preaching this weekend.
Great.
If you're confused, you sound like some dummy who built a tower foundation and then get laughed at by his neighbors. Right, Father?
Right.
Exactly. So this weekend, I would like to preach a little bit about Philemon and how Paul in that reading, Scott, you didn't highlight this part, which is completely fine. but Paul refers to himself as Father.
Oh.
And I was at the UDF recently, which is the United Dairy Farmers
Gas
station and delicious ice cream place.
You were in Ohio?
No, there's one in Bright, Indiana, actually.
Is there really? I didn't know there was UDFs in Indiana.
Less than a mile away from Bright Lights, the largest.
Tell me more about this
Christmas exhibit.
Have you ever been to a UDF?
I have.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
This UDF is also only just 12 miles away from Ars Cafe and Bean House. But nonetheless, I was at a UDF the other night, and a high school boy approached me and refused to call me father, and then wanted to have a theological conversation about Catholicism. He had just come from youth group at his Protestant church.
What did he call you?
Jonathan.
Did he know you?
No.
Oh. Huh.
He knew of me.
Oh,
so it was quite the experience. And so Philemon is one of these situations where Paul refers to himself as Father. We see this in other places, like in 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 2 and 4. But so there's other places where Paul refers to himself as a spiritual father. And so I just think it's important for us to always trying to be catechizing our people. Like homilies exist for different reasons, but one of them is to form and to catechize. And it is very easy for sometimes for Catholics that might not know real world their faith. Like someone will just come up and drop this bomb. Well, Jesus says, call no one on earth your father, and you call priests father. So your whole entire faith is wrong. And Catholics will fall for that. And so I think Philemon is an example. Timothy is an example. But I always just we need to go back to that biblical passage, because clearly he also says, call no one master, call no one teacher. We also celebrate Father's Day. And so clearly Hallmark is an apostasy and is making billions off of going against what Jesus says and celebrating Father's Day. So I think just putting things in its quick context. So we're going to go do a quick biblical refresher in that, just so that my people will not be confronted with really just such silliness. And not to mention, I think it's also a great question that you can ask anybody who ever asks you that question. Well, don't you believe that? And don't you want your Protestant minister to be a father? What do you want him to be? What does that mean if he's not a father? And that'd be actually a really horrible thing if he wasn't. So
he's just Pastor Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start with there. Number 2, we're going to look at, and we can go back to the hackling and the giggles of today's reading gospel passage. But I would like
What a pat on the head.
I'd like to focus more on the last line of the detachment that we as Christians are called to have from our possessions and our things in life, which is really hard. But it is something that we really should talk about. So I have recently, just because of some other readings that came up in the cycle with Luke, I think it's really interesting for us to talk about, we were talking about building bigger barns. A few weeks ago, Luke is often referred to as the gospel of the poor. And what do we really mean when we talk about sacrificial giving as Catholics? What does it really mean to give and to be detached? And I, I'm a firm believer that we're called to live like Jesus. And I think we've talked before in some earlier podcasts, but if you want to live your life like Jesus, you're going to end up like a very religious person. If we actually look at who Jesus was, Jesus practiced dietary laws. He had food restrictions, foods that he could not eat. Same is true for us as Catholics. On Fridays, he had, feast days where he went on pilgrimage to Jerusalem, not because it was the Sabbath, but because it was the middle of the week, but it was Pentecost or the Feast of Booths or Yom Kippur. He wore religious dress. He wore phylacteries and a prayer shawl. We wear scapulars. There were marriage laws, there were customary rituals that went along with whether it be circumcision or bar mitzvahs. Like Jesus was a highly religious person, and we've tried to like not make Jesus religious and just a nice guy. But one of the other things that like was also highly religious about Jesus is that Jesus actually, and Mary and Joseph would have tithed. But Jesus doesn't want us to be bound by laws. And so we're actually asked to give more than the tithe. That's actually the Christian principle, is that you wouldn't be bound by a law, that you would be above the law. And so I think just to have a weekend to just like, once again, reevaluate, like, what does it mean when Jesus says that I'm supposed to be able to renounce my possessions, that I'm not attached, that I'm not held bound by the things that are of this world, but that the things of this world actually lead me closer to him. And so I am not going to be possessed by my possessions, that I actually have what I have as a gift from the Lord. And I'm then able to bless other people, bless my children, bless my family, but also bless the poor, bless those who are in need. So I think it's just going to be an opportunity for us to visit all of that. And then some of you might remember that even farther back into this reading cycle, there was the brother who shouted out to Jesus and spoke about, he said, "Master, tell my brother to give me my share of the inheritance." So we're going to talk a little bit about tithing, financial giving, freedom in financial giving. But then we're also going to talk a little bit about estate planning and will planning in this weekend, because turns out I, as a priest, have seen more families divided over wills and estates than probably almost anything else.
Really?
When someone dies, family members never talk to each other again because of the way that things get divided up, and the jealousy and the envy, and the decisions that mom and dad make, oftentimes 30 or 40 years prior to them ever even dying. And they never go back and revisit their will. And I'm not, like, I realize that Indianapolis might be a little bit different, but around here we have property, homesteads, and all of these things, and it just becomes so divisive. And so I think these things, we should be talking about these things. I really think like wills and estate planning is fascinating, because like really the question should be asked, like, when I take my last breath, when my heart beats for the last time, like, what do I want to put into effect? Like, that's really the question that should be asked. But like we're normally, like, people just think about like, how do I give all my stuff to my kids? But I think like we also have an opportunity to evangelize to the world when we take our last breath, when our heart beats for the last time, about what we really believe in and who we believe in. Mm-hmm. And do I want this to stay in my family, or do I actually want this to bless people that are in need, and bless whatever the church? So
I think it's a good message to hear on both sides. I've known multiple people who have gone through pretty awful experiences, like you said, with wills and what is left to whom. But I think it's a good thing to think about on the other side of like, what is it like? Why do you value so much getting these things, or being left these things, or, you know, like it's I know it's something Elizabeth and I have talked about, like, that we'd love to just be able to like work to a point and be at a point where, like, again, like if God forbid our parents pass away, that they can just leave whatever they have to the church, or to who, you know, a charitable organization or things, because we don't need to be entangled in a fight with everybody over what goes where. And yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I think it's a good message to hear from the other side too, from those who are bound to inherit something, not just those making the decision to leave it.
Well, I think
sometimes that's what people need to hear.
Well, I think the inheritance thing as well is, I think like we as kids need to also at some point really even ask the question, is like, what does it mean that my parents haven't done enough? Mm-hmm. Do I have the freedom to look at my mom and dad and say, Mom and Dad, like, you don't owe me anything. Like, you wiped my butt, took me to school, raised me, did everything for me. The last thing, Mom and Dad, that I want is more.
Yeah.
So Mom and Dad, I would actually prefer you to be generous in some other way than for me to end up with you believing somehow that I need more, that you still haven't given enough.
It's deep.
So that's a challenge that I love to give to my people. So
Yeah, that's great.
So
Okay.
renounce
So
your possessions. Go ahead.
I know that this isn't one of the areas that you focus on, but the part that was confusing to me in this gospel was the first part where he says, if anyone comes to me without hating his father and his mother, his wife and his children, his brothers and sisters, and even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. But like the rest of the gospel says, you should love everyone and you should, die to yourself for others and for love for others. And everything about marriage is about loving your spouse and getting them to heaven. This seems like a different message.
Yeah. So it's clearly saying that in the call to be a disciple is the fact that like there has to be first and foremost that I am willing to put God before everything, even myself. Like my relationship with God is even before myself. So that's why self is even included in that. So it's clearly being spoken like in very bold, exaggerated terms, but like, am I willing to put God before all of those things? That I would be willing to even use the word hate, but that I'm willing. God is before every single relationship, even the relationship that I have with myself. That God is going to be primary. So kind of related to that first commandment, do I have other gods? Do I have things or relationships? Like clearly I could say, when I was in high school, I had a lot of, emotional relationships that I thought, that I would have put before God. I would have said, oh my gosh, I would die if I can't spend tonight with ex-girlfriend or whatever experience that I was going to be having that night. And so there was a lack of my true identity as a son of God. Yeah.
But like hating, that's pretty strong. Like, is that like maybe an interpretation thing or like a translation piece there or?
Yeah. So God is not asking us to hate our parents. He's asking us to love him and follow him above everything else, is what's actually being asked there.
All right.
So it was some sort of exaggeration because it does say that.
Yes.
Okay. That's why it was confusing to me.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. All right. Ready for some dumb questions, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm ready. The story the seatbelt, talking about father strapped into his seatbelt. My brother-in-law has at like his bar that he has at his house, he's got a stool that they took an old seat from a forklift and bolted it to the top of the stool, and it has a seatbelt. And they will do a game where you have to just see how far you can rock in that without falling over, but you're bolted in, so you're just like strapped in. It's a real dumb thing, but it's pretty funny too. Anyway, that's it.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty. I don't know. It's pretty dumb. I said it was at his bar. It usually involves some
Drinking.
some other choices being made. All right, I have a cross country related dumb question.
I love cross country questions.
Because being the head cross country coach at East Central High School, correct?
I'm the assistant, but thank you. Yes.
Yes. What? Oh, you're the assistant?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw you were head coach.
No.
Oh, never mind. I don't have a question for you. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
You probably don't know then. Okay. So I've been to a handful of cross country meets in my life. Not many. My kids never ran cross country. But I've been to a state championship meet. I've been to some of the, especially when I was teaching and students would be in semi-state or regionals or something like that. You'd go. And so being at a cross country meet and cheering, right? Is one thing. But if you're a coach or a parent, your job seems to be to just sprint from one spot to the other and yell things.
Yes.
But what are you yelling?
Keep running.
Yeah. Kick.
Pump your arms.
Yeah. What? But those are actual things I hear. So
keep your head down.
What are people
head
yelling?
up. You want your head up.
Not
you want
golf.
your head up, not down. You want your head up. Running with your head down actually pushes your shoulders forwards, then pushes your hips back. So you want their head up.
Well, that's a lot to say when somebody's passing you. What are you yelling at them?
It depends on who the athlete is. So you have to know the athlete. So some of them,
You're a child
them.
of God. I'm just imagining you being out there like, Jesus loves you. Never forget.
Yeah, so it depends on the individual, but sometimes I'm giving them their time. Sometimes I'm giving them their place. Sometimes I am telling them something encouraging because I know them and I know their thought process, and they go to negative thoughts and negative things. So one of the things that we talk about on our team is about it's called I can, I will, I will. And so I try to get them to like think and like focus on positive things so that they can actually like make decisions during the race. That we have, I mean, I can go on and on of all this crazy stuff. But like we have this thing called the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 accelerate. So it just depends on the situations, but a lot of times they just need encouragement. Like I actually preached a homily one time about how a cross country race is like a glimpse of heaven because everyone is cheering for everyone. When you go to a cross country meet, like even though like I want my athlete to beat the person that they're running next to, like in a general spirit, it's not like football or basketball where you literally are booing the other athletes. You are genuinely cheering for everyone.
Yeah.
And so it is like heaven. It's like a glimpse of heaven. Like the saints are running around and they want everyone to make it to the finish line, and they want everyone to make it to the finish line the best they possibly can. And the person who crosses the line first gets a big cheer. But the amazing thing about cross country meets is the person who crosses the line last also gets a huge cheer. And so it really is like this great vision of heaven where winner or loser, it doesn't matter. You are worth people yelling and screaming for you to make your way to the finish line. And so, yeah, it depends on who. Sometimes I am correcting their form. So sometimes I am like head up, relax your arms, drop your arms, because they don't even know it. But they become tight. But if they're tight up here, they actually can't run like they. So if you just tell them to open up, like it can change everything. So
okay,
what's something that you learned like in the last year running a 5K every day about yourself that you didn't know before?
I am more of a minimalist than I would have ever have thought. So. There's an app called Strava. If anybody wants to go check out my Strava app, you can just type in Jonathan Meyer. But anyway, so that's where you
if
post
it's not
all
in
your
Strava,
runs.
it didn't count, right?
What?
If it's not in Strava, it didn't count, right?
That is true. So if you look, probably 95% of my runs are exactly 3.1. Like I would finish running and I won't run back to the house. I'll actually
it's like throw hard brakes on.
Yes. Yes.
Throw on the air brakes, he's gonna fly right by. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, like the fact that like the amount of times I had to call someone and even just have them tell me like, can you please repeat after me, like, Father Meyer, go for a run. Like, tell me I need to do this. Like the resistance to doing something that we all have is pretty strong. So like,
who's more excited for you to be done with this, you or Father Hollowell?
There were times where like I was like sick or whatever else, and I knew that he was really, really like frustrated / angry with me that I was going to go out for a run, and he'd be like, "I can't believe you're doing." I'm just like, "Dude, I got to do it." And he's a good brother. He's been a big champ throughout all of it.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
One of my favorite cross country memories of the like handful of cross country meets I ever went to. So I was at a regional cross country meet up in Carmel, and there was a runner at the time who ended up being very successful. He was winning the regional by so much that his shoe came loose, and he stopped, put his shoe back on, and retied it, and then still won the regional. He did it like 100 yards from the finish line. It was the biggest flex I've ever seen, like in an athletic event. Of like he stopped, took off his shoe, put it back on, tied it, and then got back up and still won the meet like pretty substantially. Anyway,
that's awesome.
That's my cross country, and that's talking cross country. All right, Father Meyer, as a loyal listener, one of our favorites, we've been talking musical instruments at Mass recently.
I've heard.
You have. So I'd like to know your top 3 from my list and your least favorite from my list.
Yeah, so my top 3 would be organ.
Oh, you know the list. That's perfect.
Yeah, organ, violin, and then I would probably go piano. I'm not anti-piano.
Ooh.
And then, like,
man, there's some real piano feelings last week.
There were very big piano feelings last week. He doesn't listen though, so he's not going to know.
No.
And then my lowest would clearly be kazoo.
Kazoo.
Yeah, kazoo's not one.
It was
bottom 2, right?
Oh, bottom 2, yeah.
Yeah, bottom 2. That's what. Oh, just bottom 2.
Kazoo
2.
wasn't on the list. We talked about a kazoo, but
okay. Then drum and tambourine.
Drum set. You don't have a drum set?
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
Thank you.
Even though I could see you with like big tambourine energy on a stage. I'm just saying.
Outside of mass, I would be all about the tambourine.
Oh yeah, yeah. Big. I mean, you're a big time hype man, so like that'd be perfect for you.
I would be going. Yeah, you get me at a Vanilla Ice concert with a tambourine, I am going crazy. I am going strong.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, Father, thank you.
Speaking of Father Hollowell, our parish, we went to this diocesan event. This was like probably a few months ago. It was something about community and whatever else, but it was like you were supposed to come with your parish and your staff. And
one of the listening events?
No, not the listening ones. However, we've had a great turnout.
Ordination to the priesthood?
No, I don't. It was at OLG, and they had someone from Amazing Parish. I don't know who it was that was there, but someone was there. And anyways, in our small group table discussion, Father Hollowell had just read an article about how parish culture has been just changed and how parish dances and all these things used to exist. And Hollowell just goes, we just need more people dancing at our parishes. So this is no joke.
Big liturgical dance guy. That's what I hear.
This is a fruit of that meeting, is that we are actually, Hollowell and I are DJing a parish dance on November the 8th. It is going to be epic. Like, so if you have nothing to do,
that's fantastic.
I think maybe All Set for Sunday should come down for a live event, and you guys could. It's going to be lit. We should get some merch for this event.
Heck yeah.
We have some giveaways.
Absolutely.
Have you seen that priest DJ? He's like from a different country, but
let's not talk about that. Didn't go over well at World Youth Day 2023.
Oh, was it him?
No, yeah. There was a big upset after World Youth Day 2023. I actually made a video about it, retaliating against the video. There were some Catholic podcasters that took what took place at World Youth Day 2023 at 6 a.m. in the morning and applied it and said that there was a DJ at the mass, which was a lie, and they just made it out to be ridiculous.
Oh, this is something different.
But anyways, we're going to DJ a parish dance. It's going to be all like, the hokey pokey and the chicken dance and
everything that's on a do not playlist for a wedding.
What'd you say?
Everything that's not on the do not playlist for a wedding.
Yeah, and that's why most wedding dances are no longer any fun. And my father sometimes needs to leave early because people are dancing so inappropriately, even at a wedding anymore these days. It's crazy. So I dance to Ice Ice Baby and then I leave.
Let's make sure it's early on the list.
That's right.
All right, Father. Thanks for joining us again. Always a joy.
Always a joy.
Peace.
God bless you all.
Thank
Peace.
you, Father.
It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for. It's alright, cause I'm all set for Sunday.